Welcome to Solutions Studio. This is a free series on C programming language. If you like these videos, please subscribe to follow along with this series. Also, please like and leave a comment and share the video to help spread this series. Hello and welcome to this episode. In this episode, let's go and discuss about assignment operators. In the previous episodes, we were only using this equal operator as an assignment operator, and you know that this statement would mean that the value of the right side would be assigned to the left side. So the value of c plus 3 is going to be assigned to c. And now with new type of assignment operators that I'm going to introduce you to today, you can have this statement as a short form like this. C plus equal 3 means that the original value of c, that means that the original value of c plus 3 and then that new value assigned to the c once again. And as I have tried to explain in here, the plus equal operator adds the value of the expression on the right to the value of the variable on the left and then stores the result in the variable on the left. Just like the plus equal operator, we also have many other different operators for other arithmetic operations. For example, we have plus equal, minus equal, times equal, divide equal, and mod equal. And for each one of them, I have given you a sample expression and an explanation. For example, c plus equal 7 means that c is added to 7 and then the new value is assigned to c. The same way, for example, the original value of f is divided by 7 and then the result is assigned to f as a new value. And that's it for this episode. In the coming episodes, we are going to be using many of these different types of assignment operators in our program. Hello and welcome to this episode. In this episode, we discuss about increment and decrement operators. So the increment and decrement operators are unary operators. That means they take only one operand and they are shown by plus plus and minus minus. And what they do is that they add 1 or they subtract 1 from an integer variable. Suppose that I have this variable c and it's an integer variable. Let me write it down so it becomes more clear. Integer c. Then if I write c plus plus, means that c is assigned the value of c plus 1. And the same way, if I have this integer d, and if I have this decrement operator amended with d, such as d minus minus, then that would mean that d is assigned a value of d subtracted by 1. And that's it about these two operands. They are a shorter way of writing these expressions and they help us to do so. And that's it for this episode. See you in the coming episodes where we will discuss more about these two operators and different types of. In the previous episode, we discussed about increment operator and decrement operator. Now we talk about different types of it: pre-increment and pre-decrement, post-increment and post-decrement. Here I have a table for you that's showing the operators, sample expressions and explanations. Let's go and first discuss about pre-increment operator, which is this operator, and this is a sample expression plus plus a. And plus plus a means increment a by 1, then use the new value of a in the expression in which a resides. Then we have the post-increment operator, and that is a plus plus. Use the current value of a in the expression in which a resides and then increment a by 1. Can you see the difference? In pre-increment, we use the new value of a in the expression, and in post-increment, we use the current value of a in the expression. And now the same way we have pre-decrement and post-decrement operators, and again the difference is the same. So pre-decrement operator says decrement b by 1, then use the new value of b in the expression in which b resides, and then post-decrement operator says that use the current value of b in the expression in which b resides, then decrement b by 1. Now it's okay if you haven't been able to understand the meaning for these operators. Stay tuned as we are going into more details and more examples in the coming episodes, and you will definitely be able to understand these concepts. Hello and welcome to this episode. In this episode we have a few examples for pre and post operators so that you can understand better what is the difference, for example, between post increment and pre-increment. And for that we have created a program in here. Let's go and execute this program. In the first part we are trying to demonstrate post increment. We have given c a value of 5. First I have printed c by itself, no changes, then it's 5. And then I have post incremented c. You can see that in post increment the current value of c is used and not the new value of c. And finally, after this expression, the new value of c is used. But in pre-incrementation you can see that I have c as 5, but then in pre-incrementation c has already gotten its new value, which is 6, and finally at the end it has its value of 6. And this way I wanted to show you what is the difference between pre-increment and post-increment, and I hope that you have understood the difference. If you still haven't understand, let me know in the comments below and I will try to make more clarifications on this. Now let's go and see a few notes about pre and post incrementation or decrementation. So when pre-incrementing or decrementing a variable and a statement by itself, the pre-increment and post-increment forms have the same effect. For example, if you have a C++ or ++C, it is the same. These two statements are actually equivalent and the same to each other, and there is no different effect to these statements. It is only when a variable appears in the context of a larger expression that pre-incrementing and post-incrementing have different effects. As we already showed you this in the example in here, that pre-incrementing or post-incrementing have a different effect when you use it in a context of a larger expression like a printf. Then it have a different effect. And also remember that only a simple variable name may be used with these two operators such as plus or minus. Attempting to use the increment or decrement operator on an expression other than a simple variable name is a syntax error. So you cannot really write something like this, x+1. This part should not be an expression, it should only be a simple variable name, and that variable should be an integer. And that's it for this episode. See you in the coming episodes. Hello and welcome to this episode. Let's go and consider this program. I've created and declared an integer variable called Sam and it's 0. Then we have two integers, integer 1 and integer 2, and the values are these. And then I have tried to add these two values and put the value into Sam and print Sam. Let's go and execute this problem. You can see that the result is 3333, which is correct. Now let's go and do something out of the ordinary. Let's increase this number by a very large number, and maybe this number to a very large number too. And let's go and run this program. Now as you can see, we got a very wrong answer. This is because an overflow happened, and this overflow is called arithmetic overflow. You can see that the integer constant is too large for its type and overflow has happened. That means that integer variables, they have a limit and they have a specific size inside memory, and that size determines what is the maximum and the minimum value for an integer. And to be able to see those limits, here I have a few lines of code. Let me remove the comments. Now in these lines of code I have tried to print the integer max and the integer min. These are two constants that they are located in the limits header, and using these two constants we will be able to show the maximum number that a variable can hold and the minimum number that a variable can hold. A variable type of integer, obviously. Let's go and execute. And as you can see, the maximum number that an integer variable can hold is this much, and the minimum that it can hold is this number. And that's it for this episode. See you in the next episode.